Okay, so I was so rudely interrupted in my first video, but let's continue here. So the last cellular organelle that we were talking about in the plant cell before I got cut off was the nucleolus, and again, it is the same also in plant cells. It does has the same function, so it's that round structure in the nucleus that makes those ribosomes. The vacuole. Now, this is one of the bigger differences between plant and animal cells. While animal cells do have a vacuole, the vacuole in these plant cells is much more extensive and it is way larger because obviously plants have to take in an excessive amount of water in order to sustain life. So while our vacuole tends to be very, very small, which is here, the vacuole inside of a plant cell is much larger. So that is definitely one difference that you can note between these two organelles. Now, the Golgi body, again, its function is exactly the same. It's going to package those materials for the cell. The mitochondria, again, is the powerhouse of the cell. That is where energy is produced, energy in the form of ATP, which is, again, adenosine triphosphate. So energy is produced in the mitochondria. And again, you have different number of mitochondria in different types of cells. The rough ER and the smooth ER, they are exactly the same. They build and transport substances throughout the cell. However, on the rough ER, remember R for ribosomes. You have ribosomes on the outside of the rough ER, and on the smooth ER, you do not have the presence of ribosomes. Ribosomes also help to make proteins in the cell. That is their primary function, is they help to make those proteins that are needed by the cell. Now, the cell wall, again, we have already discussed that, is it gives shape to the cell and it also provides that extra barrier of protection that the cell is going to need. Now, this is one organelle that we have not yet been introduced to, and it is called the chloroplast. So I remember one day in class, we were talking about cellular organelles, and someone mentioned something about photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Well, the chloroplast is actually a major organelle in those processes. And as we move further in the semester, we will get into that definitely. So, what the chloroplast does is it is going to trap sunlight and it's going to change that sunlight into sugar for the plants, or basically food that that plant is going to need in order to live. And chloroplast contains, you see these little green things inside of that, that is called chlorophyll. So the green thing inside of this chloroplast, which is nothing more than a green pigment, is called chlorophyll. So chloroplasts are very important in plant cells, and it is one of the biggest differences between plant and animal cells. Now, that concludes our overview of both plant and animal cell organelles. What you're going to do now is I want you to actually go in, look at these, and with one or two of your partners, go in and discuss these organelles and discuss some of the major differences between plant and animal cells. Because at the end of class on today, well, before you leave, what you're going to be responsible for is you are actually going to have to complete an exit ticket today. So the exit ticket is already posted there for you. It is attached to the assignment. And all you have to do is click on the Google form and the exit ticket will appear. So the exit ticket is here. You must type your name so that I will know who has responded and who to give credit to. And the question that you are answering is the same exact question that is on that little study guide handout that I provided for you in Google Classroom. And the question says, what is the difference between plant and animal cells? This is the Use what we talked about in this recorded lesson today and what you discussed with your neighbor to help you answer this exit ticket question. Now, what I do not want to see from you on your exit ticket is an answer that is copied and pasted straight from Google, because many of you are very familiar with that process of copying and pasting in Google, but that is not going to fly here. So please make sure that what you submit is actually your work and not someone else's, because I will not give you credit for someone else's work. I know you guys love me so much. So what I want you to do is come up with an authentic answer to the bell ringer, because I need to know what you know. And again, you do have an assessment that is going to come up on Friday. So it's very important for you to understand the differences between these plant and animal cells. So that is going to conclude my talking for today. You guys should have about 25 to 30 minutes left in class to work on this, to both discuss with your neighbor and to complete this exit ticket. Also, if you did not submit the work that was due on last Friday, which would have been this assignment, I will show it to you very quickly, which would have been the work from week 11, this Unit 1 sales activity. Several of you turned it in, but some of you did not. This animal cell coloring activity that we did when we went over the PowerPoint, and you guys were supposed to fill in each of these boxes with the function of these cellular organelles. If you have not turned this in, this needs to be turned in along with the questions that follow. All of these things need to be turned in because I have already started grading. I have given grades to everyone who has submitted these assignments. And also, if you did not complete a diagram of an animal cell, which is what we worked on Thursday and Friday, then you should do that because that grade is also in the grade book, and I have graded everyone who has turned theirs in. So these are all very important assessment and daily grades that you guys should be completing. So I'm going to give you guys time now to discuss with your neighbor those different organelles and the major differences that you see between plant and animal organelles. And you're then going to answer your exit ticket. And I hope you all have a wonderful Wolverine Monday.